Episode 8. This is episode 8. Episode 8 of what? Lazy and Kosi podcast. What up, what up, what up? Today?
I'm going to blur my hands, pretend I'm throwing signs.
Yeah, you got to start doing those Naruto signs. It's mad crazy. There's people on the internet that can like really do those.
I just did it.
There's people that's better than him on the internet that can really throw out those ninjutsu signs like real dumb fast.
You seen that famous? Well, it's kind of like a famous like meme of like the characters in Naruto doing the signs, and like it's a picture of Young Thug like throwing up blood signs. And, like there's like the sound. There's the sounds of like them doing the jutsu signs. Like, yeah, it's a very funny one.
Wish I could move my hands that fast so they can make those noises.
You'd basically have to be superhuman. That's the only way you'd be able to do that. So you told me you beat Last of Us 2.
Yep. Finally. I've beaten a game for the first time, and I can't remember. You can fact check me on whatever I said a couple episodes ago.
I think you said like almost a decade. Like legitimately, when I was editing the two-parter, which by the time this is uploaded, both episodes are going to be up of the two-parter podcast. I was about to say two-parter episodes. But yeah, I think you said it was like 7 years to like 10.
Yes, some madness of me buying games and not completing them because of multiplayer games. But yes, I finally muscled through, and I have to say muscled through because I don't know. I feel like the game went on longer than it should have.
I think a lot of people were saying that. I think that was like a common like criticism of it.
Okay, because since I recently beat the game, I haven't went back to look at those reviews and all the reason why people hated the game. So
I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna tell you why a lot of people are like dumping on the game.
Okay.
Finish what you were gonna say.
Because I was just trying to get that shit done. So that's why I was like, maybe because I'm ready to get this over with, so I can buy Ghost of Tsushima.
I want to play some else shit, bro. That's how I was with Yakuza 0. Like I was like, it's not a bad game, but it's just like it felt like it went on for so fucking long. I was just like, is this done yet?
Yeah, and that was definitely like some towards, I guess, like the last hour of the game, you could have definitely ended it before you went on that extra hour or two of gameplay. It wouldn't have been like this greatest ending, but that where it could have ended definitely had some resolve.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm still playing. I think that happened like 2-3 times. I'm like, all right.
It's like, okay, it's ending, and it's like, no, it's like,
yeah. I'm like, Abby done beat your ass twice now, and this is not over with.
I was gonna say, what's Abby's last name? I forget.
I don't even remember.
But I was gonna say Abby. I don't know. I'll say Abby Anderson. Abby Anderson's Pro Golf Tour. AKA Last of Us Part 2.
That is so fucked up.
You saw one highlight that I showed that I put on the Abby Stabbis one.
Nah.
Did you check that one out?
I think. Oh, you talking about? Oh yeah, I gotta check the highlights. I still have to post them up. Yeah. Been dealing with crap.
I completely understand.
Now I want to do that. I don't know if anybody buy that T-shirt, but
I think people would. I know I would. It's funny.
It's mad fucked up.
Well, what was I gonna say? Oh man, I forgot. I think it was about Yakuza 0 when you were talking about like, you
just
know,
going on.
Yeah, just like something going on too long. And like I said, Yakuza not a bad franchise. I want to go on record and say I think the Yakuza franchise. I've only played one game, but just as a whole, like the memes that surround it, the actual comedy of the. I was trying to make sure that's it because I heard something clicking. I thought it was, but the actual comedy of the series is really funny, and like the writing is cool. They have good characters. It's just, I can't get into that combat system. The combat system feels way too loose. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when I went in, people were like, "Man, the combat looked fun." People were like, "Man, the combat is so great," and it's like, I don't know if it was just me just playing like too much Bayonetta. And, like, you know, I get Devil May Cry. Well, I've only beaten Devil May Cry 5 once. But, like, you know, just playing, like, games with, like, tighter, like, control schemes.
Yeah.
So, maybe that's it. Maybe I expected one thing and I got something else and I was kind of like...
Turned off. This is not what I signed up for.
Yeah. Like, I feel like that's a series where you can watch it and still, you can watch a walkthrough of it and still get like a very satisfying. Bro, when you took your glass off, your eyes look so small and it threw me off. I was just like,
we've gone over this. I have Asian
no,
eyes.
no,
when I take these off.
Don't say that. That's it. I'm gonna cut that.
I mean, I've even had other people look at me that's of Asian descent. And be like, yeah, your eyes are real small.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna cut it out then.
You go in my house, my parents' house. We collect Asian culture things. I'm not trying to be racist or anything. If I would said Orientals, then I've been fucked
Man,
up.
yeah, Orientals, yeah. I remember hearing that. I was like, oh, why is that racist? And it's like, when you really like look at it, the way people say it, especially like back in the 80s and 90s, it's just like.
Yeah, I was about to say I was about to say if I don't say Asia, I don't know what what I can say.
True. But like I said, Yakuza, cool series. Just I couldn't get into the
10 out of 10 wouldn't recommend for me.
But
this, Last of Us stuff. It's funny when you do mention Abby. Hour in, hated Abby. 5-6 hours in,
you're like, hey, she's pretty cool.
I'm like, all right, Ellie, you're getting on my nerves. and then, because I didn't know they were gonna make me play with Abby multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
So after you play with Abby, she becomes way more redeemable. Everybody's shitty, but
yeah, I mean it's apocalypse though.
Yeah, but
post-apocalyptic actually, but yeah,
Ellie's like a chip off the old block. She's that shitty.
No, it's just you like Joel. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, she's like a seed of Joel.
I mean, she's basically raised by him, so.
Yeah, and she was all mad about him doing what he did and everything. And
she's like, let me go ahead and do that.
Yeah, let me turn into this motherfucker.
It's funny that you talk about that because that makes me want to talk about what I wanted to talk about next. Speaking of, the environment that you grow up in, I watched Boys in the Hood and Menace to Society for like the first time in forever. Mm. And like, man, like going back and watching those, like they say that they're crime dramas. Well, Boys in the Hood isn't really a crime drama, more like just like a black like coming of age like story with like some like crime sprinkled into it. Like, no, Menace to Society is straight up like a fucking crime drama. But yeah, just looking at this shit, they consider them like dramas. I'm like, man, those are fucking horror stories, man. Just like somebody who who's grown up in the hood all his life. Like, that's shit that I've seen to like some degree. I haven't seen like people just straight up just like run up and cap a nigga, but like just being around people like that, it's just like, god damn, like I'm happy I didn't grow up like that. But it's crazy. It's like the crime dramas of the early 90s, the early to mid 90s, well even late 90s, because I mean since like Boys in the Hood, Boys in the Hood basically just blew up everything. It's like it's definitely one of the most influential black movies ever made. But it's just crazy because it was kind of like the second wave of like blaxploitation movies. Because obviously it started out in the 70s, and we still had some in the 80s like Action Jackson and stuff like that. Have you seen Action Jackson? Mm-mm. It's with Carl Weathers, the guy.
Thanks for you. I'm pretty sure I know.
Yeah, Carl Weathers. He was in Predator.
Okay.
Yeah, he's actually from New Orleans. He's actually from the state.
The only Jackson I know is the famous Jet Jackson.
The famous Jet. Rest in peace.
He's dead?
Yeah, the guy passed away. The guy who played Jet Jackson. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, he sadly took his life.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because I was like, he wasn't too much older than us.
Yeah, I know. He was most likely. I mean, if he was still alive now, he'd be like mid 30s. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and then it was just like going back and like watching those. Like I mean, Boys in the Hood I had seen before, but like Menace to Society, that was like damn near like my first time because I've seen like clips of it and like watched a little bit of it. But yeah, it was just like it really was. It felt like a horror movie. Like like there's like people like we got people who live like this like in real life, and people still live like this to this day. Because like Menace to Society is like way more fucking depressing than because I mean Menace to Society is basically like if Boys in the Hood was like seen from like Ice Cube's Doughboy. His character Doughboy. It was like from Doughboy's perspective, because it was like, the main character. He grew up in a life of crime, and bro had like multiple chances to like get out of that shit, and he's just like, he's thinking, man, I don't know, but like when his old lady, his friend turned old lady, and Jada Pinkett Smith's character is like, look, I'm going to Atlanta. You coming or not? Get out of South Central. And, he's about to get out, but, he knocked up this girl, and the cousin was like, hey, man, you got to, like, take care of this baby. And, like, he beat him up in front of Kane, the main character, beat him up in front of his grandparents' like house, because that's where he lived. And like the dude was like, okay, and like at the end of the thing, he just gets lit up in front of the house. I'm just like, god damn. And see, that's what I'm talking about, is like that shit can happen. I think that's why those movies had such like a lasting effect, because we know like a Kane, we know a Doughboy, yeah.
I honestly feel like basically any movie involving our skin color, and then also has drugs, gangsters, and police involved, they're all pretty much horror movies.
Yeah, they're horror movies for us, and like, and it's a look into the ghetto for people who haven't lived in there, pretty much. Yeah,
because even like we will finish Lovecraft. Lovecraft is okay. It's already a horror.
Yeah, no, it's based off of H.P. Lovecraft's work, so yeah, it's definitely horror.
Yeah,
which is funny because he was known for not liking black people. So I think the guy who wrote the book, which is funny enough, the guy who created the book is actually a white dude. It was probably supposed to be like, hey, isn't that funny? Wrote a book full of black people based off an Arthur's work, who was known for hating black people.
I mean, there's a lot of racism in that show.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like.
I need to actually like sit down and watch Lovecraft Country. There's so many things I'm supposed to be watching, man.
I know, but it's already horror in itself, but it's a double scoop of horror when you're a black person.
Yeah, because like you know shit like this has happened to people, or like you witness stuff like that.
Well, and it's like even stuff that like nobody would even witness, but it's like, which I'm not gonna try to spoil anything, but you know how the different things you find out they were like testing on us and all this kind of crap. And
like the Tuskegee experiments and stuff like that. Yeah,
and they can just basically do what the fuck they want, because we're 1/10 of a person or whatever they fucking believe.
I think it was 3/5. That's what they believed. Man, as soon as I started talking about Boys in the Hood, as soon as I started talking about like 90s crime dramas, we got serious. But,
I mean,
it's good content.
Yeah,
it's a good analysis.
Our lives are serious, because even when you bring that up, it sucks that that movie was made when.
Which one?
Either one of them.
Boys in the Hood 91 and Minister Society 93.
Yeah, well, those aren't that far, because I'm basically the same age as those movies almost.
Yeah.
A little bit older actually, but so we still have shit like that going on. Lovecraft was based off in like the 60s. All that different type of racism stuff that's still more or less going on.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, we're in 2020, and yet
we still dealing dope to each other, and we still getting shot by police. Yep.
Talia was telling me there's still like sundown towns. I was like,
yeah. What? There's still sundown towns. There's Krotz Springs. It's like right past like when you go in when you take the old bridge trying to go to Lafayette. This is a Louisiana thing. So if you don't know about it, stay out. But no, Krotz Springs. It's like when you take like the old Huey P. Long Bridge near my house. When you take that bridge, and you can go through this town. It's called Krotz Springs, and I've heard that's considered a sundown town. That thing's like extremely small too.
It's like, how in 2020 is that still something allowed?
Man, and it's funny too, because you always hear people saying, "Oh, racism doesn't exist." You know how delusional you have to be to believe that. I don't think you even think they're delusional. I think they just want people to just be quiet and think and those people who say that think their opinion matters. Because I'm not even gonna say it's just white people. It's just stupid people. That's not people believing that racism doesn't exist isn't a race thing. If you get what I'm saying, like like
It's a stupidity thing.
yeah, it's a stupidity thing. Yeah, it's a straight up just like
I don't like calling people stupid, but
I do.
The shoe fits.
Wear that bitch. You look like you wearing. You look like you need to wear some Air Force Ones, my guy.
I mean, if the shoe fits, you can still also choose not to put that fucking shoe on if it's gonna label you an idiot, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's just people. Funny enough, I was talking to my boy Victor, and he made me come to the realization is that some people just love to be ignorant, and like when something like this happens, they just say the ignorant like opinion just to still believe that no, the world's this way. Like I can't believe the world isn't like anything else. And it's like, well, all right, man. Like I'm not gonna argue with people like straight up.
And it's for me, it's like I would love to be delusional, but I can't. Doesn't work out for me that way.
Yeah.
And I know like there's always the thing that facts and stats could be misconstrued and blah 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 blah. But the fact is, if there's still some downtowns, that means some of this shit is still true.
Yeah.
Because all that should be outlawed.
Definitely. Speaking of that, you saw that PlayStation made a Black Lives Matter theme for the PS4.
I did. My friend DJ posted it on his Facebook. He was like, "Yep, be mad. I don't care."
Bro, it was so funny too because there were people like, "I'm gonna run over my PS4," and somebody said, "I'm gonna run this over and I'm gonna buy a PS5." It's like you're still giving them money.
You have already spent your money, sir.
Yeah, right. There was one lady on Twitter. She didn't even own a PlayStation. She just came out of nowhere and said, "My kids own the PlayStation. I'm gonna run over the old PlayStation 1, the old PlayStation that they had." And somebody was like, "Man, you get your leathery face ass out." People are weird, man.
People are weird. I'm going to run over something that I bought and now own that's my property because
it's kind of like the whole Nike Kaepernick thing. Like when they found out that Nike was supporting like Kaepernick, and like they had like people like cutting the Nike swooshes out of his socks, and then there was like this one famous one, this dude lighting his socks on fire while he was wearing them. I was like, "What are you doing?" Like, bro, like nobody cares. Just don't support Nike if you don't want to.
That'd be much.
Yeah, just dip out. Just sell your Nike stuff. Just give it to like a thrift store. But these are probably Republicans. They probably don't like giving people shit in general. So just throw them away. And just be like, and when people bring it up, be like, "Yeah, I don't support their political views." Like, that's an easier way of going by it. I'm gonna say you a bitch in my head, but because I mean, if somebody does that, I'm be like, I'm not even gonna argue with them about it. I'm not even gonna argue with them about that shit.
It's just wild that you getting up in arms by somebody saying that like somebody else's life matter. Not even more.
Yeah, people.
Charger
For.
Okay, here it is.
He's getting the charger for the computer. Yep.
Yeah,
it's looking good on battery life, but yeah, no, it's the whole thing of you can unplug my yeah, it's like on 70-something%, but we're gonna get off the thing soon because I want to talk about something else, but it's the whole thing of really is. Some people try and construe it as saying like, oh, they're only saying Black Lives Matter. It's like nobody's saying that. You're coming up with a counterpoint in your head to dislike the fact that black people and other people of color still have it rough in the country.
Yeah, and I love them to point to any time like a majority of black people have always been like, yeah, fuck everybody else. We want to rule the country, blah, 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 blah. No, we've never, I won't say we've never, because there's always extremists.
Yeah,
for the most part, we just want to be left the fuck alone.
Pretty much.
We just treat fairly. That's all. That's all we ever ask for. That's all I want. Shit, just treat me fair and leave me the fuck alone. I don't want my booty hole get tight every time I see a goddamn white car with fucking lights and sirens on it.
Yeah. I'm about to say, with a Crown Vic, I don't know why they have Crown Victoria still, but this old busted up Crown Victoria.
Souped up Crown Vic.
Bruh, I was thinking about like legit buying a Crown Vic once because those things go like crazy cheap because they're like most of them are like repurposed old cop cars. But I was like, nah, that's a Ford, so it's gonna blow up as soon as I turn the key. Don't buy American.
Seems to be doing fine for the justice system until they got these Chargers.
Oh God, Chargers are trash. I hate most American muscle cars. I think are lame, especially like Mustangs. I think if you drive a Mustang, you're probably like annoying as hell, or you got like a fragile ass ego.
I used to want one. I don't know about my ego,
the
but
shoe fits. I'm assuming to my face if the shoe fits.
I'm not even wearing shoes, so ha.
Put your feet on the screen. We need to get the foot fetishists. We need to get more money. Wiki feet.
Nah, I need to take them to the peoples, get them cleaned up and groomed.
See, shouts out to guys who get their nails manicured. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Touching your stuff up. I was gonna say I don't go to places, but like when I cut my nails, I like file them because I just don't want jagged edges and stuff.
You don't like jagged edge? You ain't black.
No, I like jagged little pill, man. Alanis Morissette, man. Woo! That actually is a good. That's actually a really good. I think that's an album. I'm trying to remember.
I can't. I can hear songs. Well, yeah, that's blah 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 blah. I can sing the words with the songs, but I can't be like, this comes from this album. This comes from this album. It ain't that deep to me.
Yeah, well, you know me. If you know me and what you do. I'm a huge music and gaming nerd, so I know my shit. Like I can just pull out random facts. Like I said recently, speaking of music, I can go into my next topic. I've been reading into like a lot of great albums from like the 70s, 60s, and like 80s, and that got me on to watching a really good series made by Mike Judge, the guy who created.
As soon as I hear Mike and a J.
What do you mean?
As soon as I hear Mike
Jones?
and J, I'm like, Jones?
Mike Jones is Mike Jones.
Shit, who?
Swish your house. But no, Mike Judge, the guy who another Texas native. Who Mike Judge's Beavis and Butthead, King of the Hill. Okay. He's a guy who created that Office Space, Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley is a really good show that's actually on HBO Max. I think so. Or is it on Showtime? I don't remember. But I think it might be on Showtime. Damn, I really forget. But I think Showtime's owned by Warner, and Warner owns HBO, so they might have put it on there. I don't know. But
fact checkers.
I mean, I could look it up right now, but I don't want to fuck up my train of thought. It's not even that serious anyway. But no, Mike Judge. Some people don't know, but he's actually a huge music nerd. He's a musician himself. He's been in, I think, like a couple of bands. So he had this miniseries. Not really a miniseries. It was a show that only had 2 seasons, and it was called Tales from the Tour Bus. And the first season they did, I think mostly it was like country people because Mike Judge is from Texas. He likes his country and stuff like that, and like folk music. And like the second season, he did I think he did mostly or pretty much all black artists in the second season. And in the second season, he did George Clinton, famous producer, head of Parliament Funkadelic, basically ushered in the way for like West Coast rap. Because people sample this shit like all the time. Obviously still sample his bands to this day. But when I was looking at George Clinton, I was like, I already knew how great George Clinton was, but that made me really like appreciate how like talented that man is. Because he's from I think he's from like North or South Carolina. That's where he was born, and he ended up moving to like some place in New Jersey. And he was good at singing, and this is like back during like the mid 50s, 60s. So he's like trying to start a doo-wop band called the Parliaments, based off the Cigarettes. So he goes over to Motown Records in Detroit. He meets with Berry Gordy Jr., the guy who owns it, and it was funny the way this was edited. So he kind of talks like this now because smoking drugs and he's old, so his throat's kind of like gravelly now. So, he's like, Berry Gordy looked at us and he said we were too ugly. It cuts to a picture of them and it goes like, wah. But no, it's crazy. Like a lot of the Parliament Funkadelic stuff, because he had to end up dropping the name Parliament, so he just called it Parliament. And then he had another band called Funkadelic, and came together and became Parliament Funkadelic. And then eventually it got shortened to P Funk, because that's pretty much a whole genre by itself. It's a subgenre of funk now because it's so unique. But yeah, you find out like through like pretty much all like the early like 70s to like the 80s. That man, everything he made, he was on LSD. Everything he made, everybody was on LSD. Like they were doing like drugs and like and when you listen to that music and you listen to them talk, and it's like, yeah, it's true, but that shit fucking slaps, my guy. That shit goes so hard. It's such good albums. Like there's a reason why they're considered like one of the greatest like music collectors of all time. Like they made good music, but there was a part where the LSD was just like wearing off on them, and like they couldn't do anything. So I think they started doing more coke, and George straight up just started smoking crack. And he made one of his biggest hits, High on Crack, and just mumbling into a mic. Well, basically he was just saying random shit into a mic because he went to go walk into the studio. And, he was like jonesing, and, he was like scratching, and he was like, y'all trying to record without me? Y'all trying to record without me? And they're like, no, we're just trying to lay down the track. And then, it's like, yeah, let me in the booth. Because, he owns like Parliament and Funkadelic. So he goes in there, and like they play the thing, and it's playing backwards because, they're trying to like, start it from the beginning. But then, he starts talking over it, and he starts saying, yeah, this is a story of a famous dog. A dog who chases his tail will get dizzy and blah, blah, blah. And that's how he made Atomic Dog. So he made Atomic Dog high on crack, improvising with the track backwards, and he made it one of the greatest like funk songs of all time in the 80s. Isn't that insane?
That sounds like funk.
Yeah.
That sounds like the whole history, like the whole culture of funk.
Yeah, and it's like crazy too, because like when you listen to it, it's like, damn, like that track really is backwards, like when he plays it, and like it's like one of the most sampled songs of all time now. Like Snoop Dogg used it because, like I said, a lot of West Coast people fucked with Parliament Funkadelic. So you got the Snoop Dogg dog. That's from Atomic Dog. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's wild.
Yeah. Kind of sets a bad precedent though. Want to have good music? Do drugs.
I mean, sadly, a lot of people, Yeah. It helps them. It helps them creatively. I mean, I've tried to make music while high on weed. Let me make it clear. I will go on record and say I have smoked before.
Weed.
Yes, just weed.
Allegedly.
I haven't done allegedly. But no, that's the only thing I've ever done. And I tried doing it. I was like, I couldn't do it. Like I make music better when I'm sober. Like I do. I was trying to make a song. Like I enjoy music more when you're high because like you just like hear everything and everything like sounds so much better. But like, nah, man. When I'm making music, nah, I gotta be sober. Like everything I've made, every good song I've made, the songs that have like gotten somewhat like kind of like looked at, have been me completely sober, stone cold sober. I'm just one of those dudes. I work better when I'm sober. But you're a crackhead, so I know you. All the music you used to make, you used to be running. Come on, man.
Sweating out my clothes and shit.
Be like James Brown in like the 80s and shit. Bro, I thought James Brown was like always like doing drugs. I found out because Mike Judge did an episode on him too. Because I mean, it's fucking James Brown. How you not gonna do an episode on him? And I found out he didn't. I think like he would like smoke like weed like every little bit, but like I think it was like until like the late 70s, like when he started to fall off, that he was like he started doing drugs. I was like, damn, I didn't know he did drugs like that late in his career. I thought he was like kind of always doing, kind of like Parliament Funkadelic in George Clinton.
Since day one, I took my first bump.
Shit, that kind of reminds me. Speaking of George Clinton and James Brown, Bootsy Collins. I mean, you know who Bootsy is. Everybody knows who Bootsy is. He actually used to play for James Brown. He was his bassist, and he taught George Clinton, the James Brown one. So that's like when you like it's like a 4 count, like 1, 2, 3, 4. But James Brown was always like, huh, stuff like that. It's called the James Brown one. A lot of people use that nowadays, and George Clinton started using it, and like I said, basically blew up his Parliament Funkadelic, his 2 bands. So
things that happen.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Bootsy Collins, I don't think Parliament Funkadelic would be nowhere near as successful as it was. To say it was already successful, it was already doing like pretty decently. Yeah, Bootsy Collins is one of the main reasons why that band blew up when he ended up quitting James Brown's band.
It's funny how inspiration works.
Yeah,
and then it's also funny how somebody could not be even influential at all, and then the right person hears it and uses it in their own style, and then like they get so much recognition.
Yeah. Speaking of that, it's kind of funny, like when older producers kind of use they use samples, and they're kind of known for like using the sample, and then like somebody else samples it and they get like, man, that's my sample, bro. It's not. That was like when Lupe Fiasco used Today from what's his name? Tom Scott. Tom Scott was like a very famous jazz. I think he played sax. Yeah, he was a very famous sax player. Dude's great. And Pete Rock used it for Pete Rock and CL Smooth's famous song "When They Reminisce of You." You've definitely heard it before. It's like in that Boondocks episode, like when Riley's like in that car with that Bob Ross like dude. Okay. Yeah. That's the sample. Yeah, that's the sample. And Lupe Fiasco used it in one of his albums. I think it's like Food and Liquor 2, the Great American Album. And he ended up his producer used it, and like Pete Rock got mad, and it's like, bro, you don't fucking own the song. How you gonna get mad for somebody sampling something just because you're the guy who's known for sampling it? You can't get mad about that.
You can. You're not justified in my eyes.
Yeah, it's childish. It's just another thing. It's another classic thing of old heads thinking that they own shit that they don't.
Yeah, you own these, 12 notes? You don't own the 12 notes. You might own the pattern that you put them in, and that's a dicey situation too. Because it was like, okay, everybody's done the same 4-chord progression. Eventually, everybody's gonna do the same 4-chord progression.
Going back to George Clinton again. His stuff was, like I said, his stuff was sampled a lot, like in early West Coast hip hop, and I think it was Victor, my friend Victor, record store owner. I have to say it like that so people know who I'm talking about because I just can't say Victor. But he told me that I think he met like George Clinton's like niece before or something like that. And he said she was literally going around just to find out who's been sampling and stuff and not giving them credit so they can sue them. That was literally her job.
Damn.
I mean, pay the man. If you're gonna use samples and if you're gonna make it a commercial product, you gotta pay people. Like you gotta get the sample cleared, bro. If you can't get the sample cleared, just either switch up a sample to where you can get it how you want and keep the drum beat so you can still keep the same rhythm on the track.
Money.
If you're gonna use samples, at least. I mean, you can just end up just making like a funkadelic like beat. You just have to be very high on acid and LSD. He didn't even know how to respond to that. He's just like, oh, brother.
I was just about to say, I don't approve this message.
I don't approve it either, but I mean, you gonna take it. I can't tell you nothing. Y'all grown people.
I mean, if you do it, just send us a link.
I really want to learn how to play bass, but I can't. I can't get the
that you about to say. I really want to do acid.
No, I don't want to do psychedelics at all. Because I'm already a crazy person. I don't need to I don't need to make anything else that's gonna make me crazy. But I really want to learn how to play bass because that's like the instrument I always wanted to learn. But like I can't. The fingering on stuff is just so weird to me. Like it feels like you have to like twist your hands like this and to get like a chord.
It's actually easier. I mean, unless you do play chords on your bass, which people do. But I can teach bass.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
I know guitar. The first four strings of a guitar is the same as the bass.
Okay,
So
I was gonna say, hey, there you go. We can start a band. The lazy nerds.
I've thought about it,
Yeah.
especially when we supposed to be moving to the other spot. I definitely, like I said, I want to turn that to recording studio or this place into part recording studio.
Yeah, basically like our production warehouse, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it kind of already was when we were over at the mall. It was basically our production, but like for like clothes and stuff. But yeah, like I said, I've been really beginning into Parliament Funkadelic and George Clinton's and stuff, and like all like the offshoots of it, because that dude was managing like I think like 5 or 6 bands in the height of their popularity, because they had Parliament. Then they had Funkadelic. Then they had the Brides of Funkenstein.
So he
then they had
rich.
He's, I think, but yeah, like a while. But money fades away. If you
don't invest it right.
Yeah, but I mean, he's still well off because he gets money off of samples,
royalties.
Royalties and samples. But yeah, he's got Parliament, Funkadelic, Brides of Funkenstein, and Bernie Worrell, who's No, Bernie Worrell is actually like a legendary keyboardist.
Because you said Brides of Funkenstein, and I'm just like thinking about how they would add just all kind of amalgamation of funk into things during that era,
right? Bernie Worrell, who was one of his band members, is like one of the greatest keyboardists ever. Actually, when I was looking at him, I was like, damn, I think I need to get back into playing piano. I used to be good. I used to actually be really good. I played with one of the Marcellus brothers. During a concert that we had at my at BRCC, the community college. But yeah,
fantastic.
It was fantastic, definitely. Then there was Parlette, which I think was like it was similar to like Brides of Funkenstein. It was Parlette, and then he had one more. Oh, Bootsy's band. So yeah, it was 6. It was 6 bands. He was like 6 to 7 bands. He was producing. And it had like some type of hand in it. So yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Like, you gotta be on drugs to do that, bro. You know how hard it is. I mean, you were part of a band, so you know how hard it is just to handle one.
That's probably why I'm not in one now, because I'm like, man, to put a band together is the. I just get stressed out thinking about it.
I think if I was to like actually make a band, because I already like rap with my brother. But if I was to make a band, I think I would definitely do like funk. I can see myself like definitely. I would probably do like funk and like psychedelic rock. People be like, man, people still make that? I'd be like, yeah.
See, I don't even know anymore because talk to me like in 2010ish. I wanted to do like rock and metal.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I don't know, just play this jam and see what fucking comes up.
Yeah.
Because I'm, even though that's what I want to do then, I still like blurring the genres together, just give it a heavier feel. So
I fuck with that.
So that's the other reason why it make it difficult to put a band together. It's like, so what type of band you trying to put? I don't know, just
yeah, just want to have fun with it and just whatever comes out.
Yeah, whatever comes out. I just need you to. If you're a drummer, I just need you to know how to use a double bass foot pedal. Because there might be instances where you need a double bass foot pedal, unless you just that damn good. Because there's people out there that can do a double time on one foot for a while.
That sounds ridiculous. Like, yeah. I remember I was trying to get into drums too, and I was just like, the fact that I have to separate every body part, I was like,
yeah, that. At first, I was like, "Oh, drums have to be like the easiest because there's no notes."
Boom bop, and it's like no, because you gotta literally
syncopate and all this stuff.
Boom, 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 boom. It's like, oh my god, yeah.
Keep one rhythm on your feet and keep another one on one hand, and I'm like, nope, no, thank you. My most difficult thing I would probably have to do is like string skipping arpeggios or something like that, or learning to tap. Yeah, while also doing arpeggios. Honestly,
when I'm making like instrumentals and beats, like I think drums are probably some of the harder parts for me to do still. Even when I have a drum pad, because even with a drum pad, I feel like it's still kind of hard because you got to get the timing right. Even when you have like a metronome on, but I mean, I can make a hell out of a melody. You listen to my music, I can make a hell out of a melody, but it's just like The drums, man. You know, I like to keep it simple. I like to let my melody talk. And like my melody, and I think I'm like kind of good at percussion. So I like to let my melody and percussion talk, and like have my drums like kind of simple. I might have like I might have them like a little detailed, like depending on the track if I'm really feeling it.
I can do drums if I can beatbox it. If I could just beatbox it and then the computer just listens to it and be like, okay, he needs snare here.
There's I think there actually is a program like that. There's a VST
That's
plugin.
crazy. That's witchcraft.
It's probably just good voice. It's probably just good audio, like
recognition.
Yeah, recognition.
See,
yeah.
I need something like that that can go over my head while I sleep. Because sometimes when I'm like in that before you completely wake up state, there's music that go in my head. I'm like, oh man, if I could only.
That's the equivalent of being high, actually. Yeah, so you might be one of those people.
I don't know. I don't like. I don't.
Hey man.
I don't want to do drugs to find out.
Yeah, no. I was gonna say if you don't want to do them, definitely don't do them.
Yeah,
hey, don't let people force you to take drugs. Only take them if you want to.
I don't even want to smoke weed to find out. I had that edible that I had, and I don't know. I think I was playing Mortal Kombat. The higher I got, the higher I was like, I cannot concentrate on.
Yeah,
this.
trying to play that online, like I would not play a fighting game. I played the fighting game drunk. I don't think I have high. I played the fighting game drunk, but being drunk and high are like two completely different things. Not that I would know.
I almost feel like I get the same
feeling.
Similar. But I know one thing. Like all my peripheral vision went away. It didn't, but it seemed like it did. And I could.
You can only focus on the screen.
Yeah, I was focused on the screen, but it's like I wasn't focused on the screen. I was like, I was in my head watching me play the game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is terrible. It's like, I already have to concentrate to play this game online. Now I have to concentrate even harder because I'm trying to fight off the highness and also concentrate on the game while also looking at myself play the game. I'm like, this is like separating my brain into the compartments physically because your brain already does that.
Yeah,
like,
pretty much.
It's like, okay, now I feel like I'm actually doing the separation myself. I'm like, I don't like this. Put me back on autopilot.
I remember when it happened to me. Like it felt like that. Basically, it was just like it felt like I was there and I wasn't there. It's like the most confusing thing ever.
Yeah, I definitely wish I could venture into other people's high to understand why they enjoy it so much. So far, every time I've been high, I'm like, I'll take the sober cake.
I don't want that moon brownie. Space brownie, I think is what they call them. The weed brownies.
You to go back, because I still want to know, why do people hate the game?
Let's go back to the thing we were talking about probably like 20, 30 minutes ago, The Last of Us 2.
I didn't forget it. I was like, I'm going to keep this in my head because I want to figure
load
out
it
why.
in the chamber.
Yeah, because this is one of the things I'm like, okay, nobody wanted to talk to me about it because I never beat the game. I'm like, okay, I finally beat the game months later. Why does everybody hate this game now?
So it was a mixture of like character favoritism and people not liking how the Naughty Dog development team would like put through like unbelievable crunch time because like they had delayed it like 2-3 times already.
That's what happened to the first one.
Mm-hmm.
First one got delayed so goddamn much.
It's just like crunch like culture in general, just like especially like a video game is just very frowned upon by like fans and like other developers and like employees. Because, it's just like they work like crazy ass hours. They don't really get paid that much more.
Yeah.
So that's why people are just like, it just left a bad taste in people's mouth. But, I mean, it ended up being critically acclaimed. I think the only people who really, people are like, oh, this plot sucks. It's like, no, you're just mad that, the things happen in there because you're playing character favoritism.
I had character favoritism going into it. Then I kicked into my common sense, and I'm like, okay.
Well, nerds, they just people. nerds. Basically, they want something a certain way. If you don't give it to them that way, they're gonna be like, "This is terrible." And be like, "Okay, bro, see you next game," because you're gonna buy it.
Because I won't say it's better than the first one.
I don't think anybody's saying that. I haven't seen one person say that's better than the first one.
And I don't.
I haven't played it myself. I'm just not interested in playing it because I've seen the gameplay. It looked cool. I was kind of like, I don't have to go and play this. Like, I don't think it doesn't look like a bad. It surely doesn't look bad.
No,
it's a very great looking game.
It definitely, for me, took a long time to beat. For me, so it probably took me about 23 hours, something like that. I have to go back and look at the file. Bad. Yeah, it's not terrible. I'm like, okay.
And you playing Spider-Man now? Okay.
I was almost done with Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
Freaking Trey saved over my file.
Oh, no.
So I went back.
Trey the assassin.
Yeah, I went, because I would tell him, I was like, if you're going to play this game, play on this file. And I haven't seen it since. And I went back over there with the load game. It's like level 1. I was like, two save slots of level 1. I'm like, this is some horse crap. So I go in
Pucky.
I was like, I go in my my PlayStation Cloud thing. There was some files there from like when the game first came out. So I download those, load those up. And I have more progression in that file, but not where I left off at. I'm like,
I mean, yeah, that's bad, but at least you don't have to like do everything over.
I might as well, because I didn't know how to play anyway.
Man, I wish that thing had co-op, because I would definitely get the game and play with you. I thought Insomniac Spider-Man was so goddamn good. It's such a great game.
Yeah.
And it's funny too. I tell people it's a good example of how a game doesn't have to be original whatsoever, and it can still execute everything perfectly. It's just like My Hero. My Hero is not original whatsoever, but it's got. I mean, I don't really watch it anymore or read it, but it had like some pretty likable characters for the most part. Yeah, great art. I think the art in My Hero is very good and it stands out. And good voice acting for the most part. And it's like it was just executed well. Yeah.
Now that I've realized my game file got saved over, now I'm kind of like, well, I was gonna beat Spider-Man. Now I might just delete it and play God of War.
Oh, did you beat God of War?
No.
Yeah,
that's why.
I was gonna say. I mean, you're still knocking out one of the games.
Yeah, but I was gonna go ahead and knock that out because I felt in my soul I was so close to beating Spider-Man, and then you go back, you know how something like that traumatic happens to your game save file, and you be like,
"Is it traumatic?"
It's traumatic. I still have PTSD from my from oversave files from Oblivion. It's game trauma.
Yeah, no, believe me. I mean, I understand to a point. It's just a funny word to use for the situation.
I mean, it's true. It's something that I can't let go of. That happened to me that I was so disheartening that I still have trauma about it. Till this day, anytime I play a Bethesda game or a game that saves when you walk in buildings, I turn that shit off. Because I do not want to walk into, I walked in this cave and I walked in the area that I shouldn't have been in the first place, trying to fight some shit I shouldn't be. Oh, I'm about to die. Let me go in this door so I can get away from you. Oh, shit. Y'all follow me? And there's worse shit in the door, and I have this amount of health.
Yeah, so
and I just get caught in a death loop.
It's funny. That sounds similar to one of the characters from JoJo. That's how, like, the main villain of Part 5 dies. Mm-hmm. The main character puts him in a death loop, and they keep dying like different ways.
So yeah, I've had some experiences with death loops or deleted game saves, and for the most part, how I handle this, well, I don't want to play this game anymore.
Yeah, you kind of just like lose all interest in playing it. That happened to me with, I forget what game, but it was one game that I was just like, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, and at this point, I have multiple games to beat. I was like, well, if I go to God of War, that probably won't take as long as Spider-Man, because there's all the side missions.
I still need to play God of War.
The little bit I played, it's a great game.
Yeah, it's one of those games where when I'm playing it, normally I tell people, hey, I'm playing blah blah blah. That's one of those games that I'm not gonna tell people I'm playing it, because if people are gonna be like, man, you should have been playing that. It's like, man, shut the fuck up. God damn.
I
Get
feel
mad because everybody don't fucking play the game at the same time as y'all. Shut
I
up.
still gotta go back and beat freaking which I probably gotta start that over too. Horizon.
No, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna get that on PC, but then I found out the PC port is kind of ass, and people are like, man, people waiting all this time when they finally announced it was gonna be playable on PC, and then it's like not as good. And it's like, man, fuck you, man.
That was a Sony ploy. Just get a PlayStation. But yeah.
Yo, Spider-Man was on PC though. Ooh boy,
it would look great because it looks great on my normal PlayStation. I don't have a Pro, so I can only imagine how it look on the.
Yeah, did you hear about the like the redesign that they're giving Spider-Man that they're giving Peter Parker in the PS5 version?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they're giving him like some type of like remake, and he like looks younger and like his face looks different. People are like, why did you do that? He looked fine as is. But yeah, they for the PS because I think they're porting the game over to the PS5 and
The one that's out now.
yeah, the current one. I think it's getting ported over to the PS5, and he looked and like they redesigned him. And he looks like younger.
I think I did hear about that.
Yeah, I was like, why did they? It was just like a weird choice in my opinion because everybody was like fine with the way he looked.
Everybody's like, we're bored. We're just gonna do this anyway.
I was so bored making critically acclaimed games.
We're gonna show you more pixels. So many more pixels. His face looks different.
It'd be like that infamous thing that Peter Molyneux said about Fable. In Fable, when you plant an acorn, and later in the game when you go back, that acorn will become a tree. You couldn't do that. Peter Molyneux was kind of infamous for just saying shit. That was a series right there.
I missed out on.
Well, yeah, it's an Xbox exclusive series. That's why. I think all of them are Xbox exclusive. But that was like a series right there. But my brothers and my dad absolutely loved that game. I thought
Everybody that played that game, I felt like loved that game.
I thought Fable. I thought Fable fucking sucked. I hated Fable.
I never tried it. So yeah. I just had this straight up FOMO because everybody was talking about it.
But the thing is that I'm not into high fantasy, so that might be it. So I think that's probably it. I'm just not into high fantasy like games. Like the only one I'm like that with is like Dark Souls, and the only reason why is because it's ridiculously hard. That game is hard. It's kind of fun to play because it is hard.
I throw dragons and shit. I don't care. I love it. You can put dragons in the chess game. I'm like, I'll play that. and then
dragons in a game about just like a regular like religious game, just about like teaching kids about religion. Just a dragon in there for no reason. Yeah, I'll play that.
I'm about to say you put dragons in a chess game. There you go, Yu-Gi-Oh. Specifically, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duels of Roles, because some reason instead of having it the regular way where you put the cards down and blah blah blah, no, they had you actually moving cards. I don't know why. I was very shocked when I bought that as a kid. It's like, what is this game? This is not how I play. This is not how you standardly play Yu-Gi-Oh. But I kept playing because I was a poor kid and I had already spent my money.
Shit, I know how that is. I remember there was like one Yu-Gi-Oh game I absolutely hated. It was not Stairway to the Destiny Duel. I think that was like one of the better ones. I think it was Rashifa Destruction. That's what it was called. And like they tried, it was like a weird mechanic the way they tried to like make it like Pokemon, to where like a monster could beat like a water monster, and like it wasn't like the water monster's just weaker. Like no, you straight up just could not attack with the water monster. I mean with the fire monster. It was just like
that's broken.
Yeah, it sounded so dumb, man.
There's still a way to win there. My favorite Yu-Gi-Oh game by far is the one that was on Game Boy Advance.
Yeah,
I remember what it's called.
The ones I was talking about were on Game Boy Advance, but I really like Stairway to the Destiny Duel. I think that was that one was my favorite one. You know, it was a game that I loved the shit out of, and like I still do, even though I don't really care for the source material anymore. Is Dragon Ball Z's Blue's Fury. I love that game, even though that game you had to grind like crazy in it. Like I don't know, it was just something about it. It was just like really fun to play, and I think that'd probably be a game I'd stream one day. I'd probably go back and be like, oh, this is
way back.
Yeah, I'd probably be like, oh, this isn't as good as I remember it being.
I went back and played that Yu-Gi-Oh game on the, because I think somebody put the Dolphin emulator on my Mac, and they had the Yu-Gi-Oh game in there. I ain't get a chance to play it enough.
So it was on GameCube. My bad. I thought you said
not GameCube, Game Boy.
Oh, the Dolphin emulator is a GameCube.
It had everything on there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe they had like a Game Boy player like thing added onto it.
It had Game Boy, SNES, because I had at least the one that my friend put on at the time. It had all kind of games from Nintendo, and they had that game on there, but I didn't get the chance to play it enough because with that game you could basically cheat. after you get so many good card packs, if you got these certain monsters that after they get killed, you can just go in your deck and get whatever the fuck you want. You just collect all 5 pieces of Exodia. It's like it's only a matter of time before I can pull Exodia and win this match.
Sorry, just people keep on trying to call me. Hope nothing happened.
Stop trying to call me. I'm podcasting.
Damn it, you made me look bad. Stupid family.
Get Samuel Jackson, do your voicemail and use it during times your podcast.
Ah man, but I remember for Stairway to the Destiny duel, I had what was it? The Prima guy. That's back when people actually bought like game strategy guys.
I'd still be surprised when they.
Like people still make those. It's like
stop doing that.
Yeah, it's like people buy those. Apparently, people do.
Yeah.
I remember there was one publisher I absolutely hated. I don't know if it was Brady Games or it was like one of the publishers, but I hated them because I always thought the guys were like the fucking worst. But there was with Stairway to the Destiny duel, they had like every card in there and like they had the card code, so you can just like go and get whatever card you wanted.
Just put the code in.
Yeah, just put the code in. I was just like, okay.
It's cheating.
I'm about to say, I mean, just straight up just broke the game, but. Okay.
Yeah. I think.
Let me get a couple Jinzos then.
I think I know that character.
Yeah,
like
I think
brain.
like yeah, it was like he was like probably one of the cooler designs in my opinion. But
I think my favorite is still Dark Paladin.
Yeah. I always fuck with Dark Magician. I like the green skin one because I was like, why is he green skin? You never found out why. The green skin one was green skin. I was like, it's kind of cool.
I think Dark Paladin was Dark Magician mixed with Buster Blader or something like that.
It might have been. I don't remember.
Me either. At a certain point, Yu-Gi-Oh lost me. After they got from the first thing with Yugi Moto, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm done. This is now getting crazy. With all things that go on too long, it just gets turned into shit.
Yeah, I'm just checking something. Look at my nephew, bald-headed ass. I'm roasting my nephew on the podcast.
Oh, yo, baby, old ass looking.
When he came, my brother came over with him yesterday. I saw him like, cause this is the first time he had a haircut, and I was like, a fucking butterbean built head ass.
Drooling on your clothes, looking head ass.
Yo, this nigga crying. Somebody get him. he be getting annoyed with me too because I just be looking at him and like I be like ruffling his head, especially now that he's bald. Basically, I just be like, he just be moving my hand. he's like barely years old. He already knows. So like when people are annoying him, he already knows what to do. I just be like ruffling his head. He just be like,
like, say, bro, man.
He ain't gonna like me when he get older. Yeah, I think he gonna beat me up.
Hands off the fade. Before you catch this fade.
But that boy like to eat too.
I'm gonna burp on you.
I was like, I remember one time he was crying. We had like a bag of grapes. I just handed him a grape, and he was just like, I was like,
hopefully you peel it.
I was like, I was gonna say, nah, you can eat it out of this. But I remember when I was thinking, I was like, man, you the opposite of your dad because his dad is extremely skinny. My baby brother is very skinny. And that boy just likes to eat. That boy's like, about to say he can grow up like me. Scrumph. Big and scrumphy.
Doing ollies.
I know. People think it's, physically impossible for a big guy to do ollies.
No, it's just scary.
Why is it scary?
I don't know.
It's threatening. It's threatening.
I'm about to say, you look at something that's not half your size, double your size, jumping that high. Wouldn't that scare you a little bit?
I don't know. I think I was like the only like big dude like out there too, just like doing tricks. I mean, it's a skate park. Like people like no, nobody cares. Like people need to understand. Like if you're gonna go skate, if you go to the skate park, 9 times out of 10, those people are either there enjoying themselves, skating, probably smoking weed and skating.
I was about to say doing drugs.
It's smoking, most likely just weed. There was one dude who literally just like lit up in like the middle of the skate park, and I was like, man, let me walk away from him before before somebody calls the cops and they think I'm smoking with him, and I'd be like, I don't need to go to jail, so. I'll be like, I do not know these people. Please leave me alone.
You knew them by association.
Well, now you're black. I just kind of want to arrest you.
You
Like, oh, okay. Well, I have to do it then. I mean, since I'll just be so kind to you. Just lock me up, bro.
You skate rats are all the same.
Street punks, man. I remember I used to watch like Skater versus like old people, like people trying to like stop them from skating, and like it would really be like people who don't even own the fucking building, don't work for the building, just be coming up and just trying to like push the kids on the skateboard. Get the hell out of here! It's like, bro, why do you care? It's like, why do you care that they're doing this? Like, you don't own the place, you don't live there. It's just like some fucking random ass like business park, and they found like a nice rail to go grind.
But leave Master Roshi alone. He might be incognito in these
Goku.
streets.
Goku, I saw those skate punks, Goku. You have to help me fight them.
Fuck around, mess with them old man, he get buff on you.
Boom. I was surprised it took him that long to put Master Roshi in Fighter Z.
Huh.
Yeah, I think he's like one of the newer characters.
Uh-huh.
I know he's been released. He got released this year.
Did they give him? Have they given him a tier yet?
I don't know. I don't watch Fighter Z like that.
You
at
had
all.
that information, so I was like,
Yeah.
maybe he knows what kind of tier he is.
I was gonna say knowing new like DLC characters, normally like the first week they're out, the people are like, oh, they're broken because they don't know what to deal against them, and then people actually like go in the lab and see what they can do against them.
That's the one thing that I dislike about playing fighters with a huge character list, because
The matchup knowledge is just annoying.
yeah.
I mean, I feel like with Tekken, that's why I kind of like Tekken, because I feel like everybody has like a tool to like beat everybody.
Yeah, it's just because one of my main tools, and I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna implement this? Because I was playing that guy I texted you about yesterday, and
Bro, he was getting salty.
he was. When we switched over the thing, all his other characters, they started ending up beating me too. But he wasn't impossible to beat. He played in a similar way to Leon.
Oh, like strict rush down?
To the point where if I got knocked down, oh my gosh, it's basically over. Me getting knocked the fuck down. But if it's just a straight up stand up game, then it was a competition. I gotta learn how to get up,
Sometimes the best thing to do is just
sit there.
yeah, legit. Just like sit there sometimes, because like they're like, oh shit, he's not getting up, and then you just hit him with a low or like a mid, or like just even like I said, just hit like one of the punch buttons and like hit back, and like you can just walk, you just get up. I just think it's funny that the guy had like he was in the blue ranks.
Mm.
I think those are blue ranks. You say he was like a Siryu or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's in blue ranks, so he doesn't know that he can just low parry the crouch jab. You can low parry crouch jab. You can low parry everybody's crouch jab. There's a reason why that move is so. There's a reason why that move is so good, because if the person knows you're gonna go low, they can just you can just low parry it. That's the only mid you can low parry.
Yeah.
Well, that's only like universal move you can low parry.
He's like, I figured it out. He's like, that dick punch not working anymore. I'm like, no, it's still working. It's just one. I've been playing with the same character for 25 matches, as you've been switching to new characters. So you have a way better understanding of what I'm doing, opposed to you keep swapping characters.
Yeah.
And even with them swapping, some characters would do better. The only ones that the ones that gave me the most trouble is the ones that could outpoke me and then have these like weird grab setups. Like he can grab me and then and I get hit into a combo. Like, okay, that's new. I didn't know. I didn't know different characters to do that.
Yeah, this is. I mean, King's not the only person with a grab chain. I know Nina has one.
Not even a grab chain. It was just like I grab you and throw you in the air, and I just started a juggle. I'm like, or I just need you in the air, and now it's a juggle. I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah. There's a couple. Yeah, there's characters who can do that. I mean, King's hop kick is a knee, like his regular one, not like the generic like neutral, like jump neutral into like 4. Yeah, the cool thing about that is that his hop knee can't be parried.
So
Like can't.
Oh, okay.
Because I've done it before. Like people have, because it's not a foot, it's a knee. So, no, it's funny enough. That's the reason why. Because he does because his generic launch. Well, his signature launcher is the knee. So it's like he does the knee, and like it can't be parried. Because I've done it against like gym players. Because gym players, they're just constantly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jin's a dry as hell. I don't appreciate gym players. I think they're the scum of the earth.
Yeah, he played with like 7-8 characters.
I'm joking. I don't dislike gym players. I think yeah, definitely. I think gym players depend too much on that parry, and then they get fucked over. And when they get fucked over, because you're like, oh, the only thing you're gonna do is parry, and then when you blow their shit up, they get mad. It's like, well, learn how to play your character better. That's like with Asuka players. Asuka players will constantly, do her damn, like, parry when she does that. And then the thing is that when they do it, they wide open. They leave themselves wide open. So when they do it, you know what I did. The down forward one. Because they just come in. Or, like, they do, like, her running, like spinning move where she, like, spins and, like, she does, like, that Superman. Yeah. Well, she does, like, that flying kick. They either do that, or they do the continuous sweep thing, or like they do the thing where she's like going in a circle and they try and do like
all Mishimas like to turn into spin tops.
Basically, I was gonna say even I was gonna say Mishima adjacent people, like Asuka.
She's related.
Yeah, she is.
If you have that blood in your family, in your
you like to spin.
Yeah,
you spin me right around me. Yeah, it's just funny, man. And then. It's funny playing Elisa players too because because she's such a unique character, they think they can get away with certain stuff. Like, oh, she can fly, so I'm just gonna use flying moves. When you're playing against somebody who knows if you're playing against somebody who knows what you're doing, man, you getting blown up, bro. Yeah, like learn how to play your character.
It takes me a while because even when I ran into that guy, he was playing with Lee, the first Lee they had in there. Not.
You mean not Lei?
Yeah, not Lei.
Yeah,
Lei. What?
Yeah, Lee Shalan. He's related to the Mishimas too. He's a Kazuya's half brother.
I think he spins too.
Man, you know what scares me? A good Lei player, because like Lei can do so much because he's based off of Jackie Chan, so he can like switch into so many things. It's just like looking at him, it's just like it makes me like so uncomfortable because like he can do so much shit. I'm just like, oh my god, what is he doing?
Yeah, I wanted to learn him, and then I was like, your moveless intimidates me.
Man, it would be blowing me up all the time. Fucking Anna players. Anna players are good.
She has a huge move list too.
Yeah, Anna players continuously blow me up. Like, I was playing against one guy, and like he would like guess every time I was gonna go low, and he got it right like most of the time. And like he would do like the little thing where she raises her leg, and like that whiffs. That just like completely crushes all lows. Yeah. So he would do that, and then she would lift her leg up and then do like a counter hit. I'd be like, oh my god, that shit was driving me crazy. I was like, good games, you destroyed me. And he was like, and it's kind of a good counter pick for King. I was like, shit, I see that.
Yeah, but yeah, I
don't think in my opinion, I don't think King has like a lot of like counter picks, but like a lot of people say like Ling Xiaoyu, which yeah. Ling Xiaoyu is probably, I would say, like the best counter pick for King.
I feel like she's probably a counter pick for a lot of people if in the right hands.
Yeah, you use the fucking Cali roll that she does, and like you just blow people up.
But the guy got mad because I grabbed too much, and he's like, "You're starting to play." He's like, "You're playing bad. You're grabbing a lot." I'm like,
"That's not playing bad. That's not playing bad. If you can't take the grab, then..."
He was taking the grab, but you know my philosophy on grabs.
I'm going to still do them.
I'm going to do them because they're disrupting what your game plan.
Yeah, and when they break them, you both go back to 0 frames. So
and then 9 times out of 10, Negan's jabs are faster than everybody. So.
Yeah, because I would each time we would do that, I would try and get the King's back one. The King's back one, it's not slow, but it's like a little slower than the jab.
Mm-hmm.
So like I would try and do it, and then you would just jab me. I'd be like, oh man.
It was like, well, I was losing and I wasn't grabbing, so I started grabbing and it worked. So I don't know. You wasn't saying anything when I was losing. You wasn't saying I was playing bad. Now all of a sudden I keep grabbing. Now I'm playing bad.
Like I said, man, I love Tekken. But like, it's not even Tekken players. It's just fighting game players in general. Like, they get so mad like so easily. And like I kind of understand to a point because you spend like a lot of time in a game and like this is just like a guy just out of nowhere completely like washes you. He's just like, God damn.
He's not even good. You just keep grabbing me.
He's doing strings. This nigga doing strings.
And you know me, I don't grab in conventional ways.
Yeah.
I cloak that shit.
But, right, I still need to show you the video of low tier guy playing Miguel. When I found out low tier guy played Miguel, I was like, oh, I'm surprised the fuckboy plays a fuckboy. But I hope some random ass way he does not see this clip. He's gonna be like, man, this fat motherfucker right here want to talk shit about me? Yeah, fuck him.
You might be able to beat him with Tekken, maybe.
Yes. I can definitely beat, because I can definitely beat him in Tekken.
Come on, low tier guy, run them hands.
This is a call out. This is a call out. I totally haven't taken a picture with you as CEO. I might post the picture of me taking a picture of him as CEO. But no, but I was gonna. It was funny meeting him though, because like it really is one of those things where you meet the dude in real life and he's cool.
Not salty like that.
Yeah. I know he plays it up, but like sometimes he really does like say stuff where it's just like, bro, you gotta like
gotta tone that shit down.
Yeah, that's like pretty tone deaf, dude. Like, chill out.
I mean, for the most part, his persona is probably an amp up version of his.
Yeah,
but
like with most people.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, the nigga was doing strings. I love that scene. So what I'm talking about is there's a thing in Tekken called the 10-hit combo. The most legacy characters have them. I think only the legacy characters have them. Like people.
My character doesn't. It makes me sad.
Well, yeah, your character is like a DLC character.
I don't give a fuck.
But
Give it to him.
I mean, if you getting hit with a 10-hit string, that's your fault anyway. Like, but yeah, most of the legacy characters have a 10-hit combo string, and somebody was doing it on Low Tier Guide, and like he started yelling out, "He's doing strings! This nigga doing strings!" And he was getting upset. It was just funny as hell. It's like one of the funniest things that he's done on the stream. Oh man, I don't even remember the last time I saw it. It's just burned into my head because how hard I laughed at it. This nigga doing strings. He doing strings.
Haven't even seen it. He has me laughing.
I'm gonna show it to you before we leave out of here. But yeah, I think if we played Tekken, because I don't like being boastful about stuff, but I think if we played Tekken, I think I could stand my ground against him. I could probably win like a match. Because I think I have a pretty decent king.
I have to say that because if not, then my knee gets trash.
Because I was gonna say I really don't get like completely. Yeah, I don't really get washed like very often. Like I mean, it definitely happens. I've been like destroyed in Tekken before, but I don't feel like I get like completely like railroaded.
I do, but at the same time, if those people are willing to play me multiple times, the curve gets.
And see, that's the thing though. Is like normally like when I'm playing against people online, and like if they beat me in 2 games, I think to myself, I would have lost the set. I would have lost. I would have been sent to losers. Yeah. Or I would have been like knocked out of the tournament. So I'm trying to get better to the point where I can guess people's like play style quicker.
Some people play so well. Like that's why I mentioned about like the huge character list. I'm like, all right, I haven't even played against this character. and this is weirdly fast. I don't know what to do with it right now.
Yeah, man, that was like me because I didn't play Tekken when like 5 came out. I think I owned 6, but I was just like a kid like mashing buttons in 6. Mm-hmm. I didn't really like look into like how to play Tekken until like Tag 2. It's like basically the game right before this one. And it was like I didn't play against Marduk a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't play against a lot of Marduks, and now I'm playing Marduks. Now I played like against a couple Marduks, and man, Marduk is a bitch of a character to fight.
Yeah.
That dude hurts.
So
that dude hits heavy.
So it's like, imagine.
Yeah, he's my new problem character.
Yeah, imagine not playing against, having no former training against a Marduk or a Noctis or something. You're like, okay, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing. Especially Noctis, because Noctis is a bitch and a half because he has range.
Yeah, Noctis
has way more range than the person with a bat.
Noctis has got range, but like I've blown up some Noctis players before because Noctis players tend to like to depend on certain things, especially like that low that he does, where he just turns around and does that, because like that's like really unsafe if you block it.
Yeah, but do that shit when you're trying to wake the fuck up. It's kind of a pain in the ass. But
I'm pretty sure you can just roll to the side, roll.
Probably, but I'm just saying, like, oh, this is my first time playing against it. It's like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
But that one where he teleports, I can always guess when people are about to do that, because normally when you're far away from them, they just do it.
Yeah.
You just block it, and then you just like you start beating them up. Yeah, block it and launch. Yeah. I can see you with no exception. But
this is usually what happens. It depending on somebody's skill level, it can take me between, I don't know, like 5 or 6 rounds, depending. Because I don't know what's up with me. I have to lose. I have to reverse sweep people to actually be.
Bro, I told you when funny enough, I was playing that Miguel player. He beat me twice, and like on the second one, like he taunted, like after he won. I was like, okay, and then I ended up beating him twice in a row, and like he ended up quitting. That shit was so good, bro.
I won't say I hate those people. Those people annoy me. Like, bro.
No, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with a one and done person. Like if they beat me and they just like dip out, I'm kind of like, it kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. But I'm like fine with it. I hate it like when you're playing somebody and they get one on you and then they leave because it's like, oh, you're just mad because you lost. You were mad because you lost and you finally got a win and you wanted to run out. It's like ranked, I can kind of understand because you're like, I don't want to lose my shit. I don't want to
lose my thing. That
but play it. Yeah, but I mean, at least there's like some type of stake like involved with it. But like if you're playing player match, but you know what I'm saying. I'm just like in terms of the game.
I understand from a person that's not me. From a person that's me, I'm like, I ain't getting paid for this rank. This is imaginary land. Okay, cool. That means only thing this means is I'm gonna get lined up with somebody else that's supposed to be good.
Yeah, no, because I definitely play people the same rank as me. I've absolutely destroyed them. Yeah, man, it's like if it's a player match though, it's like player match. You really just playing the game just to dick around and just like player match. I think is literally just to like try out like new techniques on people. So you're not playing against like the AI.
Not for me. I just go to ranking anyway because I'm like,
But no, I'm just saying like if you getting beat by somebody and like in player match, you getting whooped. And like you get that one win and you dip out, it's like, come on, bro, just at least run the set a little bit longer if you actually like won, because if you won, that means you can win again.
Maybe that's what they be scared of.
I don't think it's that. I think it's just people think, oh, he plays his character like bullshit. I'm fucking dipping. I just want to get my win.
I think it's multiple things. It depends on how tough the win was for them. To be like, yeah, he might actually beat me, so I don't want to be a part of this. I'm like, bro. Which that's the main reason why I hate when people dip out. I hate they dipping out just because I didn't get the chance to like get better. Like I unless I'm just getting really drug around on my face, I'm like I can probably get better. I can do better. I can beat you.
Yeah.
Like nah.
Normally my rule is
that L.
Normally my rule is if somebody beats me 3 times in a row, that's when I dip out, because I'm like. I don't feel like learning this. I don't feel like learning the matchup against this person because, like you said, and like a lot of other people say, Tekken's a game where you're not playing a character, you're playing against a person, and that's what I kind of like about Tekken, because everybody has like their unique quirks with their characters. Like I don't grab a lot with King, even though he's a grapple character, even though I probably should grab more, but I don't grab a lot with King. You know, that's like my little like weird little quirk, and I use like moves that some people don't use a lot. I use them a lot. And, you know, with other people, you know, they have their quirks with their characters. So, you know, like, you can like when you play against a character, obviously you learn like certain things about that character and what's their weaknesses.
Yeah.
But like I said, Tekken really is a game about just playing against.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's more like chess than any fighting game I currently play. I can't say that out there, but that I currently play. That's why there's no 3. All right, I'm done. No, I'm about to sit here and break. I'm about to crack this puzzle. As long as you keep hitting another match, regardless if I'm winning or if I'm losing, I don't even care if I'm ranked. I'm just gonna keep over and over and over and over until I fucking win. And then sometimes I do. It'd be like, oh man, he beat me like 6 times in a row. And it finally clicks, and I end up beating him like 10 times. I'm like, all right, I'm done losing. Like, where you going? Figure this. I get mad enough for not trying to figure the puzzle out. But I don't know. I'm built different.
I ain't like you niggas. I'm built different.
I like torturing myself.
I respect that. That's actually a really good philosophy. But but that's why I feel like a lot of people who play their characters flowchart, you know, that's why, you know, they think they're good, but then they go play against people who actually like really sit down and play the game and like have like their own unique style. I feel like a lot of flowchart players actually get blown up in that game. That's kind of why I like it also, because they're like, oh, this works with this, so I'm gonna do this, this, and this, and it's like, nah, counter hit. It's just like it's like the classic King back one, the pop.
You know what makes me mad about that? Not that specific, like games like this, like just like the dude telling me I grab too much. I'm like, but it worked.
Yeah,
I hate when people get mad at you for doing stuff that works.
Yeah, it's just let them do that. Just let them get mad and he's like, well, it worked, so hold that up.
Like you shouldn't do that because of X, Y, and Z. I'm like, but I have a philosophy why I'm doing it.
It works. Yeah. that's the philosophy. It works.
It does not work every time, but
it works.
Yeah,
everything's
a situational. I don't.
That's exactly what it kind of goes like into the whole like flowchart thing I'm talking about. Like people like you have to play this character a certain way. Because I'm pretty sure if I show somebody my king, they'd probably be like, you know, you got really good fundamentals, but you need to be grabbing more. It's like, well, I don't like fucking up inputs when I play. That's why I rarely ever giant swing in that game because like the input is like it's too hard for me to get down because you gotta go forward, do a half circle, and hit forward again, and like sometimes it's kind of an annoying move to do. So it's like that's why I don't spend hours trying to like learn how to buffer the move into like from like moves. It's like nah, man. I just do my grabs. You know, I'll do like the grabs that I know how to do, like you know the fucking figure four and like the little knee to the head, move and like the muscle buster, because like those are moves I like doing. And then Shining Wizard. Shining Wizard is so easy to execute. It's like one of his best moves. I think it's his best grab personally in the game because it's so fast.
Throw it out in the right time.
Yeah, I'll throw it out at the right time. And like if you're good enough, you can do instant Shining Wizards. Like you just have to hit like. You have to hit
on frame
forward. Yeah, you have to hit forward like I think 3 times like really really fast and like just make pop 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 and then just hit the grab the correct grab buttons and like he'll just do it. Like there's some people who can do it out of wave dash. I'm just like, cause I saw somebody do it. Like they did like his crouch dash. They crouch dash and they went into it. I was like, man, if I could do that, I'd be pissing everybody off with that. Fucking crouch dash into instant Shining Wizard. People be like, but the thing is that instant Shining Wizard is good to learn too because like if you're doing a combo and like you already did like a tailspin and you just want to extend the combo, you can use the instant Shining Wizard to get the Jaguar bomb. Yeah, you can get the Jaguar bomb with it because that's how I do that in my combo unders. That's how I get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's why I don't like to look too deep into frame data and all that shit. Cause I feel like those people that be that's unsafe and you shouldn't do this and blah blah blah. I'm like, man, you forgetting there's a whole like there's a game there's the game
and then there's mind games.
I was like there's data and there's mind games. It's like if I can make you, which I like to grab because people just don't look for it in this game for some reason. I don't know, especially through staggers. Taking players don't look for grabs through staggers. So I'm like, fuck it. Okay, let me get this easy damage, and eventually, depending on how many times in the set that we're gonna play, you're gonna be like, oh, all he does is grab. and then my brain just decides, don't grab this time, do something different. And then you get launched. You're like, motherfucker.
Man, the fact that when I try and grab and you always duck it, I'm like, how does he know I'm fucking grabbing?
I don't.
You just like duck it. I'm just like, I'm like that meme of the dude with the cigarette. Like
Leon be the same way. He's like, I can't grab you like you grab me. I'm like, cloak it like I do.
And be like, hey. You don't drink what I drink. You don't smoke what I smoke. So it's like everybody got their own thing.
I'm like,
I know. Lately I've been able to cloak them grabs on you. Just be like, pop.
But other people think like that shit's gonna make me mad. Like, oh, he's grabbing, so I'm gonna grab too. I'm like, nah, bro. It's just
no. You made me realize I need to start grabbing more. That's what it was. Like I need to start like adding like putting more grabs into my game plan.
It adds more layers into your game plan. If you know that you're doing it and realize that you're doing it and realize the situations that you would normally grab people in, so when you notice that somebody blows it up for you and you peep that, and if you can be like, oh, I'm gonna do that same situation I normally would grab in and just don't. I'm gonna go for a launcher or something else that's safe. People will be like, God damn it. he was supposed to grab. I ducked. Yeah. And I just hit you on top of the head with this damn I just hit you on top of the head with this bat and gave myself a counter hit.
Yeah, it's too bad you gotta go to New Orleans because I definitely want to play some Tekken right now.
Yeah.
I hadn't played it in a little while.
Which we probably, I guess, should end since it's 2:00 and we gotta go all the way to New Orleans to get that shit.
Okay, so you do want me to help you? I'll go with you and help you move it.
No. I think we got it.
Cool, awesome. Less I gotta do.
I know you don't like online Tekken, but we can play online Tekken later.
Yeah, no, we can play like a little set, probably stream it, because I mean we kind of always do like the podcast and then we do like a Tekken stream for fun. Yeah. So yeah, we can stream Tekken, later today whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I don't even want to go right now. I'd rather go in the morning, but I don't know if it's one of those situations like if we don't go, it's gonna be sold out, or they gonna sell it. And I'm like,
So it's like a grooming table, right?
Mm-hmm. It's one of the grooming tables with the hydraulics, so it actually lifts up and down too.
Oh, cool.
So it's gonna allow her to do big dogs easy.
Skinny dogs, tall dogs. All right, y'all. Thank you for listening to our Tekken podcast.
Turned into a Tekken podcast.
I mean, it did.
Hey, so
we went from the social impact that crime, the early '90s crime dramas had on the black community to Tekken.
Yeah. The different topics this podcast ventures into is from two people that never write shit down.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, all right, y'all. See you later.
Later. Deuces.
Goodbye. I love refrigerators.